Kurt Fearnley, Paralympian, and I'm coming to you from Wabakal country.
And I'm Paralympian Sarah Rose, and I'm broadcasting from Guringai country.
This is You Little Ripper, the place that we celebrate all things parasport. And it has been a massive week, but we also have a bit of a chin wag. So, Sarah, what's been happening in your life?
We're currently renovating at the moment, so that's pretty hectic, but it's lots of fun, making lots of design decisions and things like that. But a lot's going on, but not as much as you. How are you going, and how are those twins going, Kurt?
Well, I think you've got to hear it to believe it. Now, the twins have found their lungs, which means that they are growing and getting stronger every day, but you've got to hear this cry.
Wow.
That's the life. It's going great. We're a couple of months in. We're still in the trenches, but they're doing everything that needs to be done, eating, drinking, crying, and they could do a little bit more sleeping. But besides that, I feel like my life, we often find a way to put more on top of more. So when you said renovating, I got a little shudder, and I thought I wouldn't doubt whether I'll go home this afternoon and that we've started the renovation process as well, which would be the final needle on top of a massive haystack, and I don't think I could come back from. It's a really exciting time. Twins is such a beautiful thing to kind of see, and it's definitely an adventure for the family.
I saw some twins down the road the other day, and I couldn't stop clenching my teeth. Like there were two little kids, two little twin babies on the swing, and I was just so gorgeous. They looked so cute, and just the dynamics. So I'm so happy to hear that they're going well, and I hope you're having lots of coffee.
I'm having more coffee than I am having of anything else. I remember the old days of having the anti-doping authority knock on my door and they would take a little bit of blood. I'm sure that if they took my blood at the moment, it would be a full-on espresso. But it's, like I said, everything that's happening is great, is what needs to be. Again, a little bit more sleep would be better. But it has been an exciting time in parasport as well. So much happening in the world of parasport. I'm going to jump out with my little ripper moment because it is the great and powerful Madison De Rosario. She has came home with gold for Australia in the London Marathon, one of the marathon majors. It's a really exciting thing when you leave a sport that you get to see an athlete just pick up that baton and charge forward and make it their own. And in wheelchair racing, that has been Madison's experience. And to get that win there, the second win, what that is worth yelling, You Little Ripper. Sarah Rose, what's your You Little Ripper moment?
My You Little Ripper moment would have to be Alexa Leary, who's a newcomer to the Dolphins after she had an accident on the bike. She was a triathlete and she's just phenomenal. She's made the para Dolphins team heading over to the World Championship. So I can't wait to watch her. Absolute phenomenal sportswoman. And yeah, she's my You Little Ripper moment.
An incredible team. It's always seems to just go from strength to strength. It's so hard to make that team because of the results that they are getting. That the team going forward is filled with some of the greats, Rowan brothers, Lucky Patterson, and with a couple of new recruits, including Alexa, or joining Alexa will be Poppy Wilson. Look, another result that is worth screaming from the rooftops is another gold for Australia, being from our amazing team in the boccia, Dan Michelle and Jemison Leeson. They are going from strength to strength. They are creating a foundation where I see domination for the next decade. It's so good to see boccia being so successful. The Australian boccia scene in an international arena. Another bronze also for Jemison in the B3 women's. But it doesn't stop there. Sarah Rose, I hear we're doing pretty handy in the cycling.
We are nailing it. The Australian paracycling team is in Europe and has been racing in some really tough conditions. And we've seen Darren Hicks picking up a silver in the C2 road race. And at the International Paracycle Cycling Classics, the Aussies also did really well. And Stu Jones with a bronze, Carol Cook with a silver, Alistair Donahue with a bronze, Darren Hicks with another gold, legend, and Meg Lemon with a silver. So they have been nailing it over there.
We also had named the 2023 Athlete of the Year in the Paralympic discipline at the Snow Australia Awards, the great friend of the pod, Benny Tudhope, as well as Amanda Reid. We also saw the Australian women's and men's goalball teams have been named to take on the IBSA Games in August. But now the reason why all of you, Little Ripper audience, tune in, we get to speak to one of the incredible Paralympic athletes across this country, the man who grew up swimming in the farm dams, yabby infested, but one of the genuine characters of our movement, Col Pearse. Col, welcome to You Good Ripper.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks for having me on. It's a real privilege.
Mate, how are you feeling? 500 days to Paris. Has it set in?
Not quite. We've still got world champs this year, but it is getting quite daunting. It's one of those things that's really special. It comes around every 4 years. So I think the reality of it will kick in probably end of the year once, a lot of our TVs and stuff switch over to the Olympic and Paralympic Games. But as of right now, it's I'm feeling calm. It's feeling good. Training's going really well.
So good to have you on, Col. How's training going at the moment?
Yeah, it's going really well. I'm a bit tired actually at the moment at the recording of this podcast. We've just been in the water for 2 hours and then been in the gym for 2 hours as well. So doing all right. But no, it's been good. I think leading into Paris, and like Kurt mentioned, it's less than 500 days. So it's been going well. Like, we're getting thrashed. I think this week we're doing about 60 to 61 kilometers in the water. So as someone who's not a distance swimmer, and I'd never claimed to be a distance swimmer, it's a fair bit. And plus, on top of all that is, gym, as just mentioned, physio. I ride my bike to the pool as well. So if we want to count that, it's still just burning calories and energy. So it's going really well. I'm down at Nuttawading Swim Club, so they do a really good job of our performance. So my coach, Joel Fink, amazing coach. Even better, we've got a really great support system and staff at the VIS. So they do a good job of conditioning us and making sure everything's in line with our swimming. And I think the most important part of it all is we're all having fun along this journey. I think, as you guys can all understand, as a para athlete, we only get to compete once or twice a year at the max, and then have to turn it on for the games every 4 years. So it's really important that I think day in, day out, we work hard, but we also really enjoy, trash talk during the sets and sort of seeing each other and going out for brekkie and talking about how crap the set was. So it's all going well. I'm enjoying it. But we're also getting after it.
I'm really struggling to get my head around 60 kilometers in the pool. As a person whose favorite stroke is bobbing, I can't get my head around. Like, how are you upright?
Well, I'm sitting right next to my bed right now. I'll tell you right now, the bed is my best friend. No, I think it's one of those things. You guys once again will understand, but it's just consistency. Like, I came back, I took a month off after Com Games last year, and similar to you, Kurt, I was just bobbing for about a month, and then you progress from 30K. Next week you do 35, and you go up by a certain amount, and it also determines what sort of block we're in. So at the moment, the other guys, so all the other able-bodied athletes in the squad, they've got their trials in about 6-7 weeks. So we're in a really sucky time of the year where we're just trying to get as fit as we can. And then as we get closer, we'll, work on a bit of speed. But especially missing one foot as well, I find that's just annoying, honestly. Like, my shoulders go into overtime by the end of the week. And the physio down at VIS, Andrew Cameron, he's my best mate by about Friday night, because I'm just destroyed and tight and sore. And just the weekends, I would love to go out as much as I want to, but sometimes I'm just too sore and tired to be able to do any of it. But, when you've got a dream and a goal, you've got to really work for it.
That's right. And talking about that dream and goal, you're off to Sydney next week for another competition. How important is racing with all that hard training that you're doing and smashing yourself? How important is racing to you, and especially leading up to World Champs?
Oh, so very important. I think as a sport where we do 60 kilometers a week, you got to learn how to race it, because you can be as fit as you want, but there's a saying which my coach says. So training is 90% physical, 10% mental, and then racing is 90% mental, 10% physical. So leading into major events like Worlds in the next 2 months, I think racing next week in Sydney at the Sydney Olympic pool as well, it'll be really good to just sort of rehearse what we train for. I think my coach Joel mentions that. So I'm a 100 meters butterflyer. There's 12 different ways I've got to learn how to swim the 100 fly before Paris. So it's a really good opportunity to sort of learn different ways what worked for me leading into Paris. I do have, one set way of swimming the 100 fly, but if we want to be able to go for that gold in Paris, we've got to learn how to swim it in different ways. So really important to race. I think racing on home soil too, it's an opportunity to make mistakes and work on those in training, but it's also good to sort of just see where we're at as well. Doing 60 kilometers.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be swimming a PB next week, but I could swim at a good rate, the good timing, really follow the race structure that Joel and I have been working on, and the VIS staff as well. So super important, but also it's a lot of fun too. I live in Melbourne. I don't mind Sydney. We go to Sydney Olympic Park for every competition. So it's always fun to sort of go out for brekkie and dinner as a squad and just talk trash about anything or what's ever happened during the day. So really important.
What about those one or two moments that I'm guessing that you have, well, not many, of downtime, of free time, of you're not sleeping, you're not recovering, you're not training? Is there an element of balance in there somewhere where you just absolutely switch off and you do something that is completely out of the other world?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things. Like, I am originally a dairy farmer, so I moved away from home to Melbourne for swimming. So one of my favorite things in the world, and actually one of my favorite holiday destinations, is actually just the family farm. It's kind of a rule in the Pearse household that when I come home, we don't really talk about swimming. Like, obviously Nan and Pop and friends and family will come over and want to see the medals and see me and ask how everything's going. But when I just see just mum and dad, my brother and sister, it's kind of just a rule that I don't go into town to train. I don't talk about swimming. It's kind of the only time in my life where I don't get to talk about or do anything to do with swimming, which can be really mentally and physically refreshing, which I love. Having a break from your sport, I think, is super important. And to have that break with my family, who I don't see every day, I enjoy. But when I'm in Melbourne and getting after it, I love going to the footy on the weekends. I'm a die-hard Geelong Cats supporter. So it's always nice to sort of go down to the MCG, catch the Metro train line, and just kick back and watch the footy for 2.5 hours and shout at the umpires. So really enjoy that. But there's a golf driving range not far from where we train. So I train at MSAC. So 50 meters down the road, there's a golf driving range. So me and the boys will go down there and once again talk a lot of trash and just try and hit the balls as far as we can.
That's so good. I actually love hitting at the driving range as well. I don't like playing golf because it's way too much walking, but I absolutely love hitting at the driving range. There's so many amazing swimmers that are coming through and some fresh faces that we keep seeing and hearing about. Who are you really excited to watch swim over the next couple of years, and who are you watching? Who's one for us to watch?
There's a lot coming through at the moment. I think after Tokyo, especially in lockdown, where the superstars have really shown, the ones who have put in the work while we've all been shut in our houses. I think the one that stands out the most, I'd probably go with Alex Safi. So just missed out on a spot for Tokyo by however much, just missed out. But he's done really well. In 2022, he made his debut at World Champs. So he's also a 100 butterfly in the S10 division, same as me. So he's I think born 2005. So 2 years younger than me, but he's showing some real potential in the pool. We competed 2 weeks ago at the trials for World Champs. So he's done really well. He's down at the AIS. So don't want to put too much pressure on old Saf, but I think he's going to be an up-and-coming athlete in the next couple of years, and especially Paris next year, where he puts on a bit of muscle, gets a bit older in the next year or two, and he'll show something
Watch
special.
out, mate. Watch out. We'll be sure to to keep an eye out for him.
I'm happy to lose to the Aussies. As long as no one else beats the Aussies, I'm more than happy to lose to him.
I remember watching on TV an amazing story about you at the family farm swimming in the dam. And oh my God, I was watching it with my whole family. It was so inspiring to see how supportive your parents are, to see your farm, to see you get in, like the mindset that you have and the competitive nature that you can feel from you. And then watching that on TV and to see that the steps that you were going to make sure that you stay fit and healthy and continue to do training was incredibly inspiring for me. And yeah, absolute legend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's I think at the time it was more challenging than it looked. Like I think we can all understand, and Kurt, you in particular, swimming in a dam in fresh water in the middle of winter can be pretty challenging, not only physically but mentally. But geez, that's a couple of years ago now. Like I'm a changed man. I swim in the pool nowadays. So
Yeah.
no, it was good. I think leading into Tokyo and having that extra year lockdown, pushing the games back. I was only 16. If the games weren't pushed back, I would have only been a young 16-year-old. So to sort of have that extra year in the dam and the carport gym, I think it definitely helped. That medal now from Tokyo, the bronze medal I won in the 100 meters butterfly, sits on the TV cabinet for everyone to see because I'm not a big fan of hiding your medals away. I think there's a lot of people besides me who put in more work to earn those medals. Like mum and dad help set up that dam and help pay for the gym equipment. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just me training. So 100%, it really I think the competitive edge in me comes from coming from, a dairy farm where there is no swimmers, a couple footy players who play, down at the local footy oval. But I think it's just everyone wanting you to succeed. So yeah, thanks for that. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
I think that it should be a staple part of every single one of the Dolphins training routine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like called mongrel camp, like go back to the old throwing a lane rope down and swimming with the yabbies. Just a one-off. This gets you past the first hurdle that you then go through to become one of the greats in the Dolphins.
You know what my old man says? You've just got to be farm strong. You're 100% correct. You've just got to be farm strong.
Mate, well, you're a favourite here at the at You Little Ripper. Good luck for your pathway through Paris in 24. We loved seeing you get that bronze medal in Tokyo, mate, and we'll definitely be in touch between now and then. But thanks for joining us in You Little Ripper.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Sarah, isn't Col Pearse one of the most lovable Paralympic athletes that you've ever had a yarn to?
Absolutely. I just wanted to get him and hug him. He's such a fantastic person, lovely guy, such a great teammate. Everyone loves him. He doesn't say a bad word about anyone. He's got that competitive streak in him, which is fantastic. But it was so great to chat with him, and we're so lucky.
You're 100% right. I'm sure that the You Little Ripper audience all wanted to jump in there and give Col Pearse a big hug. But it's time for us to wrap up. But on our way out, we would like to draw the You Little Ripper audience, those with disabilities who would like to participate in a new sport. Paralympics Australia are hosting a volleyball camp. It's a sitting volleyball camp from the 9th to the 12th of June in the AIS in Canberra. Reach out to Paralympics Australia. Stretch yourself. Try something new. One of those exciting things about hosting a Paralympic Games in 2032 is that we might be able to put teams in there that haven't been able to really establish an international footing so far. But we start right now. So reach out to Paralympics Australia, have a look at the sitting volleyball, try a hand at it, and you never know. We could be seeing you in the green and gold in 8 years from now. Thank you, audience. Thank you for listening to our little podcast. We love parasport and we want to share how amazing it is with the rest of the world, but we need your help to do that.
We need you all to tell all of your friends what we're doing, and then you need to leave us a 5-star review, please. Really nice review.
Really nice review. And we'll be back with more interviews with your favourite athletes. So make sure you follow You Little Ripper wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'd like to say a big thank you to Toyota for supporting this episode of You Little Ripper. Oh, what a feeling. Thanks, Toyota.
Thanks, Toyota. You Little Ripper.